In November of 2024, you tweet, don't you?
I'm not sure what the current terminology is for it, but yes, I am sometimes on the social platform that was formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah, you're on a lot, aren't you?
I'm not sure what the relevance of that is.
You try to be provocative on there, don't you?
Again, I'm not sure what the relevance
Well,
of this question is.
let me show you the relevance. On November 7th, 2024, from your tweet, here's one of your tweets at 2:41 p.m., quote, "The majority of Americans hate women. The majority of Americans hate women more than they love anything."
Hello, Patriots. Welcome back to Conservative Mandate, the channel where we expose the lies, hypocrisy, and outright attacks on America's foundational freedoms. Today, we're diving into one of the most appalling Senate hearings you'll ever hear about. Senator John Kennedy absolutely dismantled a radical law professor's dangerous rhetoric, exposing her divisive ideology for what it is, an attack on the Constitution and the very principles that make America great. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and drop a comment below. And stick around until the end, because we'll reveal exactly how this kind of rhetoric is part of a larger left-wing agenda to destroy our freedoms and how you can fight back. During the Senate hearing, Senator Kennedy questioned Professor Franks, a law professor who came to the hearing loaded with inflammatory, far-left talking points. She claimed it was a myth that the Biden administration used government power to suppress private speech, while blaming the Trump administration for so-called censorship. But when Kennedy pressed her on her objectivity, she denied any bias. Really? Patriots, the truth was written all over her words in her Twitter feed. Let's talk about the so-called Law Review article she wrote in 2023, where she described the Constitution as a tool of racial patriarchy. Yes, you heard that right. This is someone who is supposed to be defending and interpreting our nation's foundational document, and she's out here calling it an instrument of oppression. That's not legal analysis. That's radical propaganda designed to divide Americans. And she didn't...
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I apologize for having to miss the testimony of some of you, and I appreciate you coming today. Professor Franks, let me ask you, I listened to your and Ms. Hemingway's testimony and Professor Turley, so I got part of it. As I understand it, your position, Professor Franks, is that I think you used the word myth. It is a myth that the Biden administration used government to compel speech, private speech, but that the Trump administration is doing that. Is that a fair characterization?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Do you think perhaps you're allowing your personal political beliefs to affect your objectivity here?
No, I do not. What is guiding my answers here is that I'm looking to see what the Supreme Court has said. You notice that in the testimony about the censorship industrial complex.
I got that part.
No, I just want to clarify.
No, but I've only got 5 minutes. Your answer is no, as I appreciate it. Let me ask you a couple questions. You wrote a law review article in December of 2023 for the New York University Law Review, and it was about the two cases, Bruin, Supreme Court case, and Dobbs. Remember that article?
Yes, I do.
Okay. In this article, you said, I'm going to quote your words, "Taken together, these two cases demonstrate that the Supreme Court has embraced the use of the Constitution as a tool of racial patriarchy," end quote. Did you say that?
Yes.
Okay. And then you went on to say, quote, "When the Supreme Court declares that there is a constitutional right to armed self-defense in public, it openly embraces and promotes a culture that privileges white men's ability to terrorize and kill those that they perceive as threats," close quote. Did I read that correctly?
I believe so. Thank you for reading.
Okay. And did you also say in that article, I'm going to quote again, quote, "by simultaneously expanding white men's right to kill and constricting women's right not to die, this Supreme Court," referring to the current United States Supreme Court, "has turned the Constitution into a homicide pact act as well, close quote. Did you write that?
That sounds like me.
Okay. In November of 2024, you tweet, don't you?
I'm not sure what the current terminology is for it, but yes, I am sometimes on the social platform that was formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah, you're on a lot, aren't you?
I'm not sure what the relevance of that is.
You try to be provocative on there, don't you?
Again, I'm not sure what the relevance
Well,
of this question is.
let me show you the relevance. On November 7th, 2024, from your tweet, here's one of your tweets at 2:41 p.m. Quote, "The majority of Americans hate women. The majority of Americans hate women more than they love anything, including democracy." Close quote. Did I read that correctly?
I am not sure what this has to do with the subject matter of this
Did you
hearing.
say it?
I do not have those words in front of me. I probably said something along those lines, but
Yeah,
what is
you
the
said it.
relevance of
Here
that
it
to
is,
this
big as
hearing?
Dallas, right there.
Yes.
But your political beliefs don't impact your feelings about President Biden or President Trump.
I don't have feelings about either of them. What I have
Sounds
is
to me
doctrine.
like your favorite feeling is anger. Let me ask you this. You issued another tweet. This was in May of 2022. You've just been tweeting up a storm. You said, quote, "There's a reason why the conservative-dominated Supreme Court thinks the Constitution does not contain a right to an abortion, but is convinced that it contains an individual right to possess firearms. And that reason is white male supremacy," close quote. Did I read that correctly?
Is there a question in this?
Did I read that correctly? That's
Is there
my
a question that is relevant to this hearing?
Did I read that correctly? Do you really think that the United States Supreme Court, you're an officer of the court, is guided by white male supremacy?
I believe that the First Amendment prohibits the president
Did you
and other
say
state
that?
officials for punishing people for
Did
their
you honestly say that, Professor?
I
And you
believe
expect us,
that the First
as a
Amendment-
Democratic witness, to take you seriously? Are you kidding me?
I believe that you should take
You
the First
heard of
Amendment
curb your
seriously, sir.
enthusiasm? Here's my saying, curb my nausea.
I believe that you should
The
take
time
the First
has
Amendment
expired. Thank
seriously.
you. Senator Durbin.
And she didn't stop there. Professor Franks also wrote that the Supreme Court's decision affirming the right to public self-defense was an endorsement of white men's ability to terrorize and kill. What kind of rhetoric is this, patriots? This isn't about law. This is about stirring up hatred, creating division, and undermining the freedoms that have made this country a beacon of hope for centuries. But it gets worse. Kennedy brought up her 2024 tweet where she claimed the majority of Americans hate women more than they love democracy. This is the level of hate-filled nonsense being spewed by someone who claims to be a credible, objective witness. Is this the kind of person who should be influencing public discourse and shaping opinions about the Constitution? Absolutely not. And let me tell you, Kennedy didn't let her off the hook. He pointed out another tweet where she accused the Supreme Court of being guided by white male supremacy. When pressed on whether she actually believed this, Franks dodged the question, refused to give a straight answer, and doubled down on her divisive rhetoric. This is the radical left in action. Patriots attacking our courts, our Constitution, and the very institutions that protect our liberties. Senator Kennedy's response was spot on. He said her rhetoric was nauseating, and he's absolutely right. It's people like her who are eroding trust in our democratic institutions by pushing lies and framing everything through the lens of identity politics. This isn't just about one law professor. It's about a broader agenda to tear down the very fabric of our country. Patriots, this is why we need to stay vigilant. The radical left will stop at nothing to undermine our freedoms, distort the truth, and divide Americans. It's up to us to fight back. Share this video with everyone you know. Demand accountability from our leaders. And most importantly, stay loud. The Constitution is not a tool of oppression. It's the foundation of our freedom. And we will not let these radical ideologues tear it apart. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. Leave a comment below and let me know what you think about this professor's outrageous statements. Together, we can expose the lies, defend the truth, and keep America great. This is Conservative Mandate, signing off. Stay proud, stay informed, and stay free.